Most people think mistakes are bad. That's why most people stay broke. But here's the truth. The richest people make the most mistakes. They just don't repeat them. Welcome to the Passive Path. Today, we'll uncover why failing smart is the fastest way to wealth and why schools failed you by teaching the exact opposite. Let's get started. In school, you were taught that mistakes mean you're stupid. Make a mistake, get a bad grade, that thinking traps people for life. Teachers avoid mistakes. They want job security. They want pensions, so they play it safe. But playing it safe keeps you poor. If you stay in the system, you stay stuck. You might retire with a 401k, but you won't learn how to grow real wealth. Most teachers don't build businesses. They don't take risks. They don't grow rich. Why? Because the school system punishes mistakes. Instead of learning, you fear failing. But if you want freedom, if you want wealth, you must do the opposite. You must embrace smart mistakes. Let's talk about how. Human beings are different from animals. We can learn from our mistakes. That's what drives growth. But if you avoid mistakes, you avoid growth. It's that simple. Most people stay in jobs that don't challenge them. They want stability, but stability is a trap. I always wanted to be rich, but I didn't want to just work harder. I wanted to be smart. So I took risks. And yes, I made big mistakes. In fact, everyone who's ever done anything big has made big mistakes. Have you heard about Robert Kiyosaki, author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad? This is a story of how Robert made his big mistake. At school in the 1960s, he invented a nylon Velcro wallet. It seemed like a great idea, so he and his friends took it to market. But nobody wanted it. Robert had 100,000 wallets sitting in a warehouse. No one would buy them. Most people would have quit. But he didn't. Instead, he invented a new product, the shoe pocket. Back then, jogging was a big craze, but joggers had one problem. Where do you put your key? One jogger in San Francisco hid his key on his car tire. He went running. When he came back, his car was gone. So Robert designed a small pocket that attached to shoelaces. It solved a real problem. Robert really thought it would be a hit, but no one bought it either. 2 failures and $200,000 in debt. Most people would have given up. Robert didn't. He borrowed more money to keep going. It was risky, but he was learning, and what he learned next changed everything. Robert and his partners needed more money. One of them suggested borrowing against family homes. As he was desperate, Robert agreed. First, he went to his rich dad. He refused. He said, "Those partners are crooks." He was right. Then Robert went to his poor dad. The poor dad believed in him. He took a second mortgage on his home. He gave Robert $100,000. He said, "If you lose it, we'll deal with it later." That was real support. Robert handed the check to his partners. They said it would solve everything, but they took the money and ran. Robert was crushed. His father's home was at risk. The debt kept growing. But he didn't quit. He got smarter. He started negotiating new contracts. He built a factory. Out of desperation, he tried something new. He contacted rock bands, the Police, Van Halen, Boy George and Culture Club, Ted Nugent. They started printing band logos on wallets, hats, and bags. Then, they launched rock shops in JCPenney and Tower Records. People loved them. From near bankruptcy, the business turned around. The lesson was clear. Mistakes teach you more than success ever will, but only if you own them, and only if you never lie. Always tell the truth, and choose your partners carefully. That's how you protect your future. That's how you build wealth. That's how you follow the passive path. $100,000 mistake almost cost Robert's family everything. But it also taught him lessons that, for sure, contributed to his ultimate success. After that, Robert became sharper. He became careful about who he trusted. He became a better negotiator. Without those painful experiences, he may not have survived in business. Years later, he texted his friend Kenny, "I treasure my friendship with you more than anything." Because friends can make you rich. Your accountant helps you grow your wealth. Your attorneys protect it. Your business partners expand it. But only if you choose them wisely. And you learn that wisdom through mistakes. If you don't make mistakes, you stay the same. You never grow. And growth is the only path to wealth. For Robert, it wasn't just business mistakes that taught him. His father supported him even when he lost his money. Instead of crying or panicking, the father said, "I wish I had the guts to do what you're doing." His parents had always worked for little pay. They joined President John Kennedy's Peace Corps. They believed in helping others, but they didn't focus on building wealth. It then took Robert 12 years to pay off that $100,000 debt. Every dollar mattered. Every sale counted. Those years must have taught him more than any school ever could. Own your mistakes, learn fast, tell the truth, and never partner with crooks. That's the real education. That's how you follow the passive path. People often ask how I became wealthy with a 1.9 GPA. They assume you need top grades to succeed. That's what schools teach. But that's wrong. I even had classmates call me out. It didn't matter. The secret to Robert Kiyosaki's success was not because he was a good student, but because he made more mistakes than most, and he learned from them. Robert's poor dad had a PhD. He avoided mistakes his whole life. He died broke. His son did the opposite. He embraced risks. He made mistakes. And today, he is one of the most well-known and respected guru in making wealth. The biggest mistake you can make is to never make mistakes. Millions of people are doing that today. They avoid mistakes. They park their money in 401ks, and now those are crashing. Banks are failing, yet they still tell their kids to go to school to avoid mistakes. That thinking traps generations. As a baby, you learn to walk by falling down, over and over. Each fall taught you balance. As a Marine Corps pilot, you do not survive because you can avoid all crashes. You survive because they trained you for crashes. You survive because they trained you for crashes. Every day they practice failing safely. Without those drills, a lot of pilots wouldn't have survived. Failure is not the enemy. It's the teacher. Schools punish mistakes. They create fear. They produce employees who avoid risk. But entrepreneurs must embrace mistakes. It's the only way to grow. It's the only way to grow. That's why traditional education produces workers, not wealthy business owners. If you never fall, you never learn to stand tall. That's the truth most people will never hear in school. That's why you must choose a different path. The passive path. Most people think success means avoiding mistakes, but real success comes from learning through them. If you never make mistakes, you never stretch yourself. You stay in the comfort zone, and the comfort zone keeps you poor. Think about riding a bike. You had to fall before you could ride. Starting a business is the same. Investing is the same. Building wealth is the same. Mistakes are not the problem. Refusing to learn is. That's why so many people stay stuck. They fear losing money. They fear embarrassment. They fear failing. But that fear is the real danger. It stops people from taking smart risks. It stops people from building skills. It stops people from becoming financially free. The passive path teaches you to think differently, to welcome challenges, to accept failures as lessons, to grow smarter with each step. Schools won't teach you that, but wealth will. And the sooner you start learning from your mistakes, the sooner you start growing your wealth. Now let's break down the 3 biggest money lessons schools should have taught you. First, failure is the fastest teacher. You will never read your way to wealth. You have to take action, fail, learn, repeat. Second, choose your partners wisely. One bad partnership can destroy everything. Trust only those who prove their honesty and competence. Third, true education never ends. School stops at graduation. But real learning never stops. Markets change, laws change, opportunities change. If you stop learning, you fall behind. The world rewards those who keep learning, failing, and adapting. That's how wealth is built. That's how you stay ahead. That's how you follow the passive path. If you found value in this video, like and subscribe. Share your biggest lesson in the comments. And remember, mistakes aren't setbacks. They are the stepping stones to your freedom. You've just learned what most schools will never teach. Mistakes are not the enemy. They are your greatest teachers. The wealthy fail fast, learn fast, and grow fast. Now, you can too. If this video helped shift your mindset, like and subscribe to The Passive Path. Comment below with the biggest lesson you're taking away. And share this video with someone you care about, someone who needs to hear this today. I wish you the best of luck on your journey to financial freedom. Feel free to explore other videos on the passive path, and I'll see you in the next video.